What is going on YouTube? Dr. Ratway here, and I gave my free-to-play players and my low spenders a whole bunch of love for those support marches. Hopefully my alliance actually uses the marches that I'm recommending, because it sucks as a medium spender. I think is like the whole idea you trying to spend the money is like you want to start doing damage and like having a more damage focused role on the battlefield. And the truth be told is if the low spenders aren't actually coming out with those support marches, it's still your job, even as somebody who could theoretically be doing more damage, to come out with those support marches, because they really are that fucking good, right? That I would rather lose out on some of the damage that I could be doing in order to help my team overall in the context of the whole fight do more damage, right? That's how good uh, the Ethelflaed, the Jonah Arc, the Mulan actually are. That if you got 3 or 4 marches on the field that are those support type marches, debuff type, AoE type marches, right? The Constantine, Jones, stuff like that. If you have like 4 or 5 marches like that and there's like 20 marches on the field, you're probably going to win the fight. Just if they don't have those marches, right? 100% you're going to win. Right? It's a night and day difference what these support marches will do. Now, what would I recommend as a medium spender? I'm not even going to talk about what to do as a whale. I'm not a whale. I can't speak on that. But I can tell you what my strategy is. I still have a very support-focused ideology. I care more about making sure that my team has what it needs to succeed rather than being selfish and trying to do my own damage. Not so much that you trying to do your own damage is selfish. I think it's selfish when you know that you have the ability to help the whole alliance and kingdom do better in the field, and then you choose not to. So like, for example, right, a whale is doing the best he can by bringing that damage because nobody's going to hit harder than him. So he needs to make sure that he's hitting hard, right, in the rallies and stuff. And it's your job in open field to support him and to bring the troops. And when you are on the field, to have those marches that back up that whale. That's literally how it works, right? So you can get access to any commander you want as a medium spender, as a good medium spender. If you're spending 200 to 300 bucks a month, I would call that medium. Okay, good. That's a good solid medium, and you can do a lot with, like, a whole lot more than you would think with that amount. If you're very picky, if you're being picky with your commanders, you can't get everybody off of that budget, but you can get the people that fucking matter off of that budget, right? And I'm gonna just start excluding people, right? Don't go for Caesar. If you want to be very, very picky, don't go for Caesar. Don't go for Mehmed. Don't go for Freddy. Anybody that is supposed to be doing a whole bunch of damage, don't go for them. Like, they're supposed to be hitting cities and doing a whole bunch of damage. Don't go for them. It's not worth it. Maybe a whale goes for something like this, because in KVK, one, there aren't very many options for doing damage. So like the El Cid, the Freddy, the Caesar is actually kind of prevalent. To the extent that, like, somebody might actually use gold sculptures to 5-5-1-1 a Martel. Shit, some people might even try to expertise Martel because they think it's that important at the early stages of the game. As a whale, they know that they're going to be able to expertise more commanders, so they don't even care that they're going to lose value from the gold keys. But you do, right? You want to still be getting maximum value because your money isn't bottomless, right? You have a fixed budget probably, or a certain amount of upper limit that you can actually obtain, right? You can't spend more money after that. You can't panic spend. Your spending is planned out in a certain particular way. That's what I consider medium spending. Okay, so I would avoid that. Those commanders. Who else would I avoid on the wheel? I would avoid most Mighty Governor commanders. if you care about cavalry, I really would recommend getting Saladin, right? Because he does damage, but he has a support focused role, and you can do a lot of work with him later in the game, and he retains a lot of value over the life off of the game, the life of the game. So as you go farther and farther into a kingdom's life, usually a lot of the early commanders lose value. For example, the only commanders that I think are worth sticking around, Isongye retains value throughout the entire game. Lamed retains some value. El Cid has some very slight uses. Right. Richard still holds up some value, but still diminishes. Sao Sao and Minamoto are usually only used exclusively in Arca Osiris, and it's used for barbs, right? So a lot of these commanders get, and the only ones that really retain the value is the Charles Martel, the Esong, the Mehmed, if depending on who you are, not for a medium spender, I don't think. Saladin holds a lot of value still. Those are, so if I were to tell you to invest right into some commanders, it would definitely be Saladin, Isongye for sure. And if you were to feel like you had to invest in a gold key commander, if you just wanted something super early, right? Maybe, and I'm not going to do this. I'm not doing this, so that I'll tell you how much I don't think it's worth it. But if you wanted to, I feel like a whale could do something like this. They get 5/5/1/1 a Martel. Boom. Everything I said in the other video was relevant, like Joan of Arc, Sun Tzu, Ethelflaed, Richard are good commanders, right? I would only 5/5/1/1 the Richard. I wouldn't go farther. I think there's better commanders for infantry later. You just have to wait. Minamoto Sao is a very strong glass cannon march in the beginning. It does a ton of damage though. You can even use Martel. If you can get Martel to 5/1/1 pretty quickly, right, off of gold keys. It doesn't take too long. Now the wheel commanders are going to be where it's at, right? So Khan is cool. You can rally with Khan for a while. That pair is very strong, but you're not going to really be doing a lot of rallying. So you're more so open field, right? I think the Genghis Khan is a little squishy. I don't really like the pairing, right? The Saladin Khan is good for when it comes out, but I think Khan loses a lot of value over time. So, that's the reason why I have decided not to focus on cavalry early on, is because, yeah, they're good super early, but they're gonna slow down and lose a lot of value a little bit later, especially the Khan. I think the better play for someone that's medium spending, that's being more cautious about the commander's value over time, would be the Constantine and Alexander the Great. Both of them are great. I would still not expertise Constantine. Fine, just a 5/5/1 of them. I would expertise Alexander the Great, and again, definitely I expertise the Isongye. And then, like, again, because you're you're not gonna be hitting the hardest on the field, but you are gonna hit pretty fucking hard as a medium spender. I like the Alexander Esong, right? Especially because you're gonna hit hard enough, and then you're still doing some support type things, and you're making them take more damage. Super strong, right? Boom. Okay, next. Edward of Woodstock has a very limited role in the game. So does Tamaris, to have very specific functions. You want people that kind of give you more value overall in the game. I don't recommend these two. Don't get them. Now, a whale. Oh my God. A whale that gets Edward of Woodstock expertise and then goes back a little bit to KVK2, right? Migrates to an earlier kingdom and uses Edward of Woodstock in KVK Season 2. Forget it, dude. The Edward of Woodstock with the Esong, man, you can't fuck with it. You can't. It oh my god, right? It's good for that, but then after that, it's just like no, you're gonna be using other stuff, right? Attila Takeda, I would say you want to get those two if you were a rally leader. So we're gonna exclude those, right? Now the Guan Yu, especially because I recommend the Alex. The Guan Alex is probably the best infantry march in a game for a while once you expertise both. And let's say once you got to this stage of the game, especially if you migrated back or something like that. But now you get a Season of Conquest, so you can't even use him. So never mind. So, but even still, the Guan Alex is a very more squishier march, but very tons of fucking damage, right? And that's something that you can do, right? As a medium spender, is that like you are gonna be stronger than most players, right? Your damage is actually relevant. And it's a lot of damage, right? A whole bunch. Look at that damage factor, and then you're going to, get more march speed and attack. You're not gonna really be attacking structures, but maybe you do, right? Maybe you tons more damage, right? You expertise and a good synergy with Alexander Great if you expertise, and then because you don't really want this heal, you end up damn near wanting to expertise them anyway. Just expertise them, and then that Guan Alex becomes like insane, right? If you expertise both. Now, the next commander that I would recommend, like, okay, you can pick up Leonidas if you care about infantry, right? And you can pick up Artemisia if you care about archers, right? But one person that I would also get is Ramses II. And this is my strategy, going back real quick. Just tell you what the fuck I'm doing. This is my strategy. I'm getting the first skill max on Richard and leaving him there. Then I'm expertising Esong. Okay. I'm gonna try to win. I'm gonna try to not. I might try to go for Saladin because I want Saladin. But if I have to get him from Card King, that is totally fine too. If I get him from Card King later, I'm gonna actually be using Saladin early on in the game. I'll tell you when I'm gonna use Saladin later. I just need to unlock Saladin. And if I get a couple of his sculptures here and there over the course of a very, very, very long time, it's fine. I'm not going to use Saladin until like day 500 or something, right? But here it is. I'm waiting. I'm patient. But I'm going to get Saladin eventually. If I don't get him from Mighty Governor, it's fine. I can just get him from Card King. Now, I do want Constantine earlier than that because I'm going to be able to mobilize him and use him very effectively earlier. So that's the only Mighty Governor I really, really care about, right? So if you want to be really patient, go, balls deep, right, on the Constantine Mighty Governor. Maybe that third Mighty Governor. Some of the people have already gotten him, and some of the other guys that went all in. I think the third one second one is a really good time, especially that third Mighty Governor is a really good time to try to get him if you're being cautious. Then you get Alexander the Great. I'm getting that, right? Expertising Alexander the Great. If it allows, I would like the 5-5-1-1 Constantine. If it's just the 5-1-1-1 Constantine, that's okay too. But man, because I care so much about infantry, I really want the 5-5-1-1, right? I'm ignoring these two. They don't matter. Okay, this is from KVK, whatever. Abu Zintian is kind of interesting, but Garrison, defending against rallies. Ignore Attila Takeda. Maybe you want Takeda, but definitely ignore Attila. Guan Yu, I would get, especially if you into infantry. And then you have I'm gonna get Guan Yu, expertise him, and then I'm gonna also expertise Ramses. And the reason why I like the Ramses is because up until now, you really don't have any defensive archers besides for Edward of Woodstock, but you really don't want the Edward of Woodstock in the open field, right? You just don't. But this guy in the open field is whew, right? And he's tanky, right? And the more damage, right? The more damage you take, and when people are attacking, you get more damage, and then you get more tank. Show you his skills, he does have a debuff, which is really nice, right? You still want to be thinking about support as a medium spinner because you're not doing more damage than everybody, right? There's somebody on the field that's 100% doing more damage than you. So defense reduction is nice, right? When you're all archers, you can mobilize your archers. You get 40% attack relevant. When you can have all archers, right? You take less skill damage. And when you're attacked, you can get 20% more attack and march speed, and it goes up 40%, 30%. Like, so you don't take a lot of skill damage. In the open field, you're gonna be taking a lot of AOE skill damage, so that's a lot of less damage you're gonna ultimately be taking. And then, your normal attacks, when you're attacking somebody else, you have a chance to heal and increase your defense by a big amount. So when you attacking somebody, you're gonna be healing, you're gonna be getting defense, you're bringing all archers, right? You're getting 40%. Attack, and then when you're getting attacked, and this can get kind of nutty when you're getting attacked by more than one person, right? You get more chances to get that march speed and attack, so you can decide to run away or keep fighting because you're like blowing them up, right? And here's the icing on the cake, right? Here's the icing on the cake. The target, you get more damage factor, right, on the ability, and then you decrease the defense, and then it makes it so the enemy can't heal at all. So here's the thing, like that Richard the First, the Constantine, right? You usually don't want to fight them first, but here it is. If you do, you're reducing their defense, right? So you blow them up faster, and then you make it so they can't heal, right? And I get that it might not line up all the time, but it'll line up sometimes. And like that's like a big part of Richard, especially in Constantine as well, is healing. So it can actually matter. And other people also have some healing, right? But it makes them, right? They won't heal at all. That's a great expertise. That's a great expertise. I know it's just 2 seconds, but it's still good. Still very, very good, right? And then like, especially with the combos that you got with the commanders that I just proposed to you, right? The Ramses E-Song, you do tons of damage, and then in the E-Song it's a secondary, and you're putting him behind, right, somebody who has a lot of damage, right, and has a lot of defense too, right? So that's a great pairing. You get a little, like, again, you get a little bit of march speed when you're being attacked. Well, that's not even a little bit. That's a lot of march speed for 3 seconds, right? So if you time this right, you're getting attacked, you need to run away. 40% is enough to do it. Only thing is you do have the attack tree, so you don't generate as much rage, but you'll regenerate a lot of rage if you're being attacked by multiple people. So boom, there you go, right? I wouldn't say I would want to get. He's not exactly tanky, but it's a lot better than a lot of commanders, right? So that's a great march to bring out. If you want to bring out another march, infantry, the Guan Alex, right? It's a great march, right? And then it's like, okay, what if I wanted to mobilize calves? I wouldn't be at that stage of the game. I wouldn't want to be running around with the minus Sal, right? Saladin Khan would be better, but then like I think bringing out one support march would be nice, and then you have to wait a little while longer. But this fucking guy, the Saladin William, right? You do respectable damage. You're countering heal. Every single one of these marches counter healing, by the way. I just want to point that out. Saladin counters healing. The Ramses counters healing. The Alexander the Great counters healing, right? Nobody's healing for shit with any of these marches. And then, right, this guy, he slows down enemies, right? He'll give you cavalry march speed, which is relevant because Saladin only gives you 5%, so 20% total. You get more damage from outside of your territory. Cav attack, right? You get more damage factor, cavalry attack bonus, and then you also get additional rage per second, right? That you're giving to everybody. So it's like a Joan of Arc where she gives rage, and then you get defense, and then like because the other marches are the ones that's doing more damage. Albeit Saladin William does do a lot of damage too, right? You don't actually have to invest a lot on the Saladin and William. You don't have to expertise them. I think the expertise on William is very lackluster, and like really all you're getting with this is 20%, 10% more defense than if you had it just at the just unlocked instead of skilling it up. So I think these first three skills are like the most important. Boom, tons of damage, right? That ain't no bullshit damage, right? And then you're getting march speed, and then on top of that, you're giving rage, regen to all your other marches and nearby marches. You get a little bit of defense. So I'm just to give you the context of what you're doing, right? Eventually, you get that, right? So you're bringing out 2 premier marches. By KVK 3, you're bringing out KVK 4. I think you're bringing out for sure 2 premium marches, like best of the best marches you can bring out, right? And then a little bit later, you get the William, and then you finally can use those calves in a really, really impactful way. You can do it early, like you can do the Saladin Khan, that's fine too. But I would rather wait, because then because you get the Saladin, right, and then you can wait and you can really focus on, instead of focusing on Saladin and YSG, you're only and Khan, right? You're just focused on that YSG, which is really good, and then you get the Alexander the Great, and then Guan Yu and Ramses kind of come as a pair together. You can choose which one you want to work on first, and then you have a little bit more time, right, to wait, right, and then you can get the William, because you can't get everybody, right? So there's a little bit of time in between, right? You get the YSG, you just unlock Khan, right? Unlock Saladin. And then you may want to work on Constantine. You definitely work on Alex, right? And you have a little bit more time, a whole bunch of time in between here, right, to work on those commanders. And then get to Guan Yu, and then maybe you wait to work on him, or you get Guan Yu, and then you work on Ramses first, get him going, right? And then you have a little bit more time, right? You have a little bit of time in between, and then you get the William, right? That's how you should do it. Don't go for everybody, because then none of your marches are going to be premier enough to like really, really make the impact. They're going to feel all of these marches. I think those are the best marches, right? The Saladin William, one of the best cav marches you can bring out at that point in the game, right? Guan Yu Alex, there is no better infantry march. Even once Harold and Zenobia, there is no better infantry march. Guan Alex is the best infantry march. Ramses YSG is arguably top 2, if not the best infantry. Archer march. Maybe, I know it's for sure top 3. Nobody's gonna argue with me about top 3, right? But maybe top 2 and 1. Maybe under certain circumstances in a rally context, there's better. But even for rallies, right, the Guan Alex is strong for a rally. The Rams YSG is strong for rallies, right? Now, by this point, you've gotten this far. You've probably gotten your Charles Martel to a good spot. So you could do a Charles Martel with a Sun Tzu if you wanted a 4th march, or you do Richard and Charles Martel. That's fine. It's not as much of a premier march as some of these other ones, but it is noteworthy that you will have Martel in a good spot. You'll also probably have no, I wouldn't even recommend any of the other Gold Geek commanders. This is mainly just Martel, right? You have Martel in a good spot, and you can use him for something as well if you wanted another march. Like Martel Sun Tzu is actually pretty strong. So there you go. Those are the marches that I would recommend as a medium spender. I can't even speak. You're not really going to be rallying, but like, let's say you were rallying, right? Let's say you were. The Alexander the Great with YSG is a great rally. The Guan Alex is a great rally. The Ram with YSG is a good rally. Earlier on, you might have Martel. If you did do the thing where you you know, put some sculpture into Martel to get him like 5-5-1-1. Like the Charles with YSG would be a pretty good rally as well. Charles Martel with Alexander the Great would be a pretty good rally as well. So like if you were to rally, you know, you can do it. Now on the other foot, right? Let's say you were Garrison defense. It is likely that maybe you're the only person online. You're the best Garrison captain online at the time, right? If you got the Charles Martel with Constantine, even if it was just 5-5-1-1 and 5-5-1-1 on both, that shit's still strong. That shit's still strong. Shit, you know, if you had Charles Martel and Richard in a flag, is good. Charles Martel and Esong. If you had Richard Esong, you had like Constantine Esong. That's kind of weird. I think Charles Martel Constantine is like the strongest you can really do early on. And then Constantine is really good against Attila Takeda as well. So there you go. So that's going to be a strong rally combo that you're going to have to fight. And the Constantine does really well when you bring all infantry. That's what I would go for. And then, like, keeping in mind that there is a chance that you might, at some point, rally something. More likely to defend something rather than rally. You would probably just wait until the rally person gets on. But 100%, there might be a situation where you really do need to defend the flag. And you're up next. You on deck. It's the best we got right now. And you got to pull out the 5-5-1-1 Constantine and you know, whatever else you got, whether it's Esong or Richard or the Martel, whatever you got, you're up next, right? But if you had the Constantine, you could definitely do it at 5-5-1-1. So that's what I would go for. I can't recommend any of the other ones. I don't want to go too far because at the point that you get to William, man, make your own fucking decisions on who you want. You should know how to play the game by that. That's almost 2 years of playing, like a year and a half of playing. Like you should know what you want at that point. But this gives you more guidance of what's coming, so you can make smart choices about what you're doing. Again, who not to get? Go key commanders other than really Martel and Mudmed or Ant. And honestly, the only one relevant to a medium spender probably is the Martel, right? Like, Martel is actually my favorite character in the game. I love Martel. He's a great commander. He holds up, especially once he's expertise. The 20% march speed, that man holds up. And then he increases the best stats for infantry, which is the defense and health for any. I wish it was a little bit more than 15%. I think it's 20%. I wish it was a little bit more. 40% of stats, plus march speed, it holds up, I guess. It holds up. And then a lot of counterattack. You really don't want to be attacking a Martel. A whole bunch of people. It's not, no. Don't want to be attacking a Martel. There you go. Master Governor for medium spenders. The best commanders you should be focusing on. Boom.